We live between divine wrath and divine mercy. That's what human history is. Human history is full of judgment.
Bienvenidos una vez más a una nueva actualización sobre el ministerio del pastor MacArthur, pastor de allí de Grace Community Church. Vamos a ver qué ha sucedido este domingo 6 de marzo del 2022. Quien les habla, Claudio Germán desde Argentina. Y lo primero que vamos a ver es una noticia, una actualización de la conferencia 2022 que está programado para esta semana, la conferencia de pastores que siempre se hacía todos los años, pero desde el 2021 no se hace. El año pasado, 2021, estaba programada esta conferencia, pero por las restricciones, las trabas que puso el gobierno de allí de California, no se pudo realizar esta conferencia y aún así MacArthur reemplazó esta conferencia de pastores 2021, se reemplazó por otra conferencia que pude compartir algo de esa conferencia del año pasado. Puede buscar en mi canal y ahora está programada la conferencia de pastores 2022 para esta semana, pero al parecer, por lo que va a decir MacArthur, y esperemos, oramos a Dios para que esta conferencia de pastores 2022 pueda realizarse sin problemas esta semana. Veamos qué dice MacArthur.
Well, amen to that, and we welcome you to Grace Community Church. You notice the tent is up again. COVID is back. We will require masks. No, this time that is the Shepherd's Conference tent, and aren't we happy about that? It is really interesting to note that we had the Shepherd's Conference 2 years ago, and the next week all the mandates came down and everything was shut down. And we're having Shepherd's Conference this week, and Friday they released all the mandates. So they're basically working on the calendar of Shepherd's Conference. They just don't get it, but that's what's happening. Anyway, the psalmist said, I will sing of the loving kindness of the Lord forever. To all generations I will make known your faithfulness with my mouth. And let's do that as we sing, but before we do that, join me in prayer.
Oramos entonces para que esta conferencia de pastores 2022 pueda realizarse sin problemas. La conferencia está programada para que comience este miércoles 9 de marzo. Son 3 días. Sería del 9 de marzo al 11 de marzo, miércoles, jueves y viernes. Y el pastor Tom Patton también habló algo de esta conferencia sobre las personas que vienen a presenciar esta conferencia de distintas partes del mundo. Así que veamos un momento, les quiero compartir qué decía el pastor Tom Patton.
We don't want to go any farther without making it clear that we know there's new visitors with us today, and we're glad you're at Grace Church. Some of you are here early for Shepherd's Conference. We've got 3,500 men coming, and even though that's not till Wednesday, many times people come really early so they can experience everything that Grace has to offer. If you're here for Shepherd's Conference, would you mind standing up just so we can see where you are here this morning? Yeah, okay. Thank you, guys. Welcome.
Hay otra noticia que actualizó el pastor MacArthur antes de comenzar su sermón y es sobre la nueva escuela cristiana. Sobre esa noticia también compartí en mi canal y puede encontrar esa noticia debajo de este vídeo. MacArthur ahora actualizó sobre esta escuela cristiana y ahora el anuncio es oficial. Veamos qué decía el pastor MacArthur.
I did want to call your attention to the article in the middle of Grace today titled Grace Academy. This is the official announcement that we're going to be beginning a wonderful new school here at Grace Church. We have an amazing council of people who have come together, professionals and teachers and educators and principals, and they have helped us design this in light of the attacks on our children that are going on in government education. We are really accountable to God for the protection of our families and the protection of our children, and in order to provide that for you, we are launching Grace Academy. There'll be one here at Grace Church and another one in Santa Clarita Valley, so those of you who are out there will have access to a campus, and there'll be one here. This is a home-based private school that features also in-person instruction by credentialed teachers with partners in homeschool education, and even some tutoring from some of the upper division students at the Masters University. Well, it's going to be a wonderful thing. You can read the article, and in a couple of weeks we'll have an open house where you can apply and get your questions answered. But this has come really fast, and we're going to start it in the fall, and we're very thrilled about that. And you can pray that the Lord will continue to direct us.
El pastor MacArthur continuó predicando en el libro de Efesios, capítulo 4, versos del 17 al 24, y les quiero compartir algo de lo que dijo en su introducción, y que por supuesto tiene que ver con su sermón allí en Efesios 4. Así que, para finalizar este video, veamos qué dijo MacArthur.
We live between God's judgment and God's salvation. We live between divine wrath and divine mercy. That's what human history is. Human history is full of judgment. From the time of the fall in the garden, judgment fell, death came. Human history is the chronicling of all the relentless judgment of God on the unrighteous and the ungodly. But at the same time, history is the story of God redeeming his people. So we find ourselves, along with everybody else in human history, living between God's judgment on the unrighteous and God's mercy on the righteous. And God knows exactly what he is doing. And I will point that out to you in 2 Peter chapter 2. 2 Peter chapter 2. The text of this passage is focused on judgment, but I just draw your attention to verse 5, where it talks about God not sparing the ancient world, and it refers to the flood that basically drowned the whole world except 8 people, the family of Noah. When that judgment fell, and God didn't spare the ancient world, he preserved Noah, a preacher of righteousness, with 7 others when he brought a flood upon the world of the ungodly. And then in verse 6, when God condemned the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah to destruction by reducing them to ashes, having made them an example to those who would live ungodly lives thereafter, he also in verse 7 rescued Lot, who was oppressed by the sensual conduct of unprincipled men. God drowned the world and protected Noah and his family. God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and protected Lot. And that is because of verse 9. The Lord knows how to rescue the godly from trials and to keep the unrighteous under punishment for the day of judgment. That's the separation that essentially tells the story of human history. Judgment on the ungodly and rescue and salvation on those who are righteous.